building a new streaming PC is, at the same time, the most exciting, but also sometimes the most stressful event in your streaming journey. Not only is a new PC extremely expensive, but if you get this wrong, your game is going to lag, your stream is going to stutter, and your views are going to go straight down the drain. Now, there's a lot of components that go into PCs, but the two most important are the CPU and the GPU. And if they aren't working well together, you'll be leaving a bunch of performance on the table due to bottlenecking, and you're going to end up regretting your purchase. Don't worry though, that's why I made this video. Pull up a stool and let's take a look at some of the best CPU and GPU combos on the market today. These combos will have minimal to no bottlenecks. They will play your favorite games at high FPS, as well as some very specific recommendations for a couple different budget ranges. The first one is what I like to call the Esports and the Just Chatting PC. The second one is the AAA Starter Kit PC. The third is the high-end combo streamer, and the top tier, the Beast Mode machine. We're going to talk through all of it. Before we get into the actual combos though, let's talk through which is more important, the CPU or the GPU. Now, you've probably seen other gaming PC build videos talking about spending 40 to 50% of your budget on the GPU and absolutely maxing that out. Now, this is typically the case when you're building just a gaming PC, but we're talking about a streaming PC here. We need to be not only able to play the game, but also we need our computer to run OBS to actually stream, Discord to chat, Spotify for music, and all the software for all of your accessories, your Stream Deck, your webcam, your microphone, your headset. All of that software takes processing power. A computer built for streaming needs a bit more of a balanced machine than one built for just gaming. This more powerful than typical CPU will also help you do other things like editing your VODs and creating other forms of content too. Now, we're about ready to talk about these combos, but one last thing I wanted to clarify was the difference between AMD, Intel, and Nvidia. AMD and Intel both make CPUs, while all three of the manufacturers make graphics cards. So which ones are best for streaming PCs? Now, at the time of filming this video, the prices of Intel CPUs have been dropping so far that honestly, it's hard to not recommend their hardware. Intel has the upper hand on almost every single benchmark on productivity applications like Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, OBS Studio, while being split pretty 50-50 on gaming benchmarks with AMD. And right now, they're a lot cheaper than AMD CPUs, and I'm guessing it's because they're trying to get rid of them. They're trying to get rid of them because the current Intel CPU socket, the LGA 1700, is officially becoming obsolete in the coming months, while AMD's AM5 socket is just getting started. That means in the next 2 or 3 years, if a new CPU is released, you'll be able to pick that up and put it right into the same motherboard that you have. Now, this may be the only reason why I wouldn't recommend an Intel CPU right now, but all of that being said, a solid 14th generation Intel processor is still going to last you multiple years into the future. Now, as far as GPUs are concerned, AMD has been focused on gaming, and they are pound for pound, dollar for dollar, much cheaper than Nvidia if all you're going to be doing is gaming. But at the end of the day, Nvidia's NVENC encoder is still the king when it comes to streaming. Now, this makes our stream look better while taking less of your computer's resources. If you're a streamer, an Intel CPU and an Nvidia GPU are still the way to go. Can a fully AMD computer stream? Absolutely. But this video is titled Best CPU and GPU Combos for Streaming, not the second best combos. All right, right now is a good time to pause the video and refill your drink if you need to. Here are the top CPU and GPU combos for streaming. All right, so this first combo is what I like to call the Esports and the Just Chatting combo. This is a computer that's going to be great for playing esports titles. Things like Fortnite, Valorant, CSGO, League of Legends, all of those types of games. It's going to be able to play those just fine while streaming, still getting a couple hundred FPS. This is also going to be a perfect computer for streaming just your webcam, maybe running some of those applications in the background like Spotify and Discord, running some chat bots and overlays, a couple of different things, but nothing too strenuous. This is probably a good computer if you are not playing a game at the same time either. This combo is going to cost you anywhere between $400 and $500, depending on sales, depending on prices, and exactly which graphics card you go for. The CPU that I would recommend for this combo is the i5-12600K. It's a phenomenal processor. If you're just gaming, it plays fantastic. This is all that you'll need for gaming and streaming if these are the types of games you'll be playing, and honestly can be found for less than $150, especially like on Amazon Prime Day and Black Friday. This processor is going to be on sale. So now this processor is about 2 years old, and it is on this LGA 1700 socket that Intel has that is going to be discontinued here in the coming months. But the nice thing is if you do want to upgrade this CPU along the way, you can go all the way up to something crazy like an i9-14900K or something along those lines to get some massive performance increases. For the GPU for this esports and just chatting combo, if you have to have something new and you don't really want to look at the used market for GPUs, this is where I would recommend the RTX 4060 8GB model. If you can find this for under about $250 right now, that would be ideal. This is a card that got a lot of hate early on because of the price. Rest assured, there is nothing wrong with the card. It's simply the pricing to performance discrepancies. As long as you're paying under that $250, this is a great card. It's ultra efficient, will be able to play a lot of your games, especially that this is able to take into account DLSS 3 and other 40 series software like that. If you're able to look at the used marketplace, you can probably find something better at a even less of a price. All of these cards should be found well under $300 if you're looking at the used marketplace. But something like a 3060 that's specifically the 12GB model, maybe a 3070 or even a 2080 Ti that has 11 gigs of VRAM and will play all of these esports titles absolutely perfect. Now, I do want to also clarify, if you are doing the just chatting type of stream, you just have a camera, some overlays and simple things like that, you definitely do not need to buy a computer just to do that. Honestly, you could do that without a graphics card. I actually stream from this laptop whenever I stream on this channel. Speaking of streaming on this channel, I do that every once in a while. One of the big driving factors that will get me to stream more is if there are more people around. And honestly, I don't ask this enough in my videos, but if you could subscribe, I would be forever grateful. We're on the big push to 1,000 subscribers, and I would really appreciate the support if you're getting some value out of this video. Huge shout out to all of my subscribers already. This one is for you. The next combo is what I like to call the AAA Starter Kit. This combo should get you through most AAA games for the next couple of years, at least at 1080p 60 frames per second, streaming and playing the game at the same time. This combo will probably run you closer to $700 to $800, again, always depending on which GPU you pick. My preference right now is the i7-12700K for the processor. The upgrade you're getting from the i5 version is really just more cores. This is going to be able to process things much more quickly just because it's able to do so much more at the same time. This CPU is probably around that $220 range, depending on when you're watching the video. Make sure you check the links in the description. I'll have all of these linked below for all the latest pricing. Now, for the GPU, we should be trying to target something with more than 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Again, if you have to go new, the 4070 or the 4070 Super, the 4070 or the 4070 Super is probably what I would recommend. The 4070 right now has been on sale, as the 4070 Super is a little bit newer. But again, you're talking somewhere in that $500 to $600 range for those. Both fantastic cards. And if you're okay going with a used card, you can find some really aggressively priced 3080s for under that $500 mark. Those are going to have that 10 gigabytes of VRAM, but should have enough power to get you through just about any game that you want at the moment. And if you are in the AMD camp and you want to grab a red card, the 7800 XT or the 7900 GRE at about that $475 or that $550 range are going to give you a heck of a lot more gaming performance, but might be lagging a little bit behind in the streaming department without that NVENC encoder. The good thing at this price range and at this power range, you should be good to get through most of these games with those types of cards and stream them at the same time still. All right, let's move on to the high-end combo. This is if you want to run and stream those games at either higher than 1080p, if you want to go up to 1440p, or if you want some really high FPS, you want some high settings, ultra settings, you want to not have to worry about upgrading for a very long time. This is the combo that is going to make you feel like you don't need to upgrade when all the new gear comes out next year. The CPU I went with is the i7 14700K, the 14th generation of the Intel i7 processor. Right now you can find that for about $329. And again, the biggest thing that you're getting with these upgrades in Intel is going to be more power, more cores, and be more efficient so that you can worry less about what's going on and worry more about your gaming. And for the GPUs here, we're definitely not targeting anything under that 16 gigabytes of RAM. For the Nvidia cards, if you want to go the new route, and honestly, I think this might be the best option in this price range right now, is the 4070 Ti Super at $800, 16 gigabytes of VRAM. This is one of the best value for dollar Nvidia GPUs on the market right now. If you're okay with a used card, I have seen some crazy deals on the Facebook Marketplace right now for 3090s as people are upgrading to the 40 series, getting ready for the 5000 series of graphics cards. I've seen some 3090s at less than $700. That 3090 has 24 sweet gigabytes of VRAM and is an absolute monster of a card. If you are on the AMD side of the fence, the 7900 XT coming in at less than $700 with 20 gigabytes of VRAM is also a solid choice. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the machine that none of us can afford, but we all dream about every night when we go to sleep, the top tier, the beast mode machine. Coming in at anywhere between $1,500 and $2,300 for this combo. The CPU we are going with is the i9 14900K. This is as good as it gets in consumer level processors right now as far as gaming and productivity suites go. At $550, this CPU will do whatever you need it to. And again, the one disclaimer that I have to put on this is that the upgrade path from this machine is not going to be pretty. You will have to upgrade just about everything, at least the motherboard and the processor, when you are upgrading this. But again, if you're throwing around this kind of money now, I'm hoping that you've got some solid investment accounts that in the 10 years that it takes for this computer to go obsolete, you've got plenty saved up for the next one. All right, and the GPUs that we are recommending here don't get any better. Now, I have to put it in there. This isn't the best graphics card, but for the price difference, I have to put it in here. The 4080 Super coming in at $1,000, 16 gigabytes of VRAM is probably the graphics card that I would recommend, because about the only thing better is the RTX 4090 coming in right now at a whopping $1,800 with 24 gigabytes of VRAM. Yes, it is a better card, but is it worth that $800? I can't recommend it unless you've got a lot of money to throw away. The AMD equivalent of these cards is going to be the RX 7900 XTX. But again, compared to these cards, I wouldn't be able to recommend it unless you are solidly in the red card camp. Now, obviously, with these different combos, there needs to be the appropriate equipment to go with it. You can't skimp on the power supply, the RAM, the motherboard, the case, the airflow, the fans, the cooling. All of that needs to match this combo that you're going to go with. If you are interested in seeing a full build of one of these combos, make sure you leave me a comment down below, and I'll do my best to put together a video of one of those next. I do, though, have a full build video focusing on the AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D. If you're interested in the full build of that machine, make sure you check out that video right here. We'll see you over there. Yeah, it's right there.